More talks tonight regarding Thomas Tuchel. Where's McKenna going? Fonseca? Another name in on the hats for Manchester United's managerial situation. If it all goes Pete Tong, or maybe if it goes all right this weekend. We've covered all of that. So I've got Jay here with me tonight talking through the manager situation. We're going to have a little bit of a recap on what Jay's seen yesterday, what Ten Hag has been saying, looking ahead towards the back end of this week. And of course, getting all of your thoughts and all of your comments in on the live section as well, everybody. Give the video a like. Make sure you share and do subscribe as well if you tune in for the first time. I'm Adam and he is Jay. Jay, long weekend. How are you doing, my friend? The season is finally over for the Premier League side of things. One more game to go.
Adam, I feel like I've lived 10 seasons in the last 9 months. To call it arduous and harrowing is an understatement of the year. I feel like I've aged 10 years in 9 months. I really have. Signs on my face as well. It's been one of those years I never want to repeat, my friend.
Well, we have at least had the best community alongside us to cope with this here on Forever United TV, and that does show there in the strength of our members section. And 10 memberships have just been gifted by Modern Samurai straight out the bag. Thank you very much, mate. You absolute monster legend is what we call you, Modern Samurai. The Muppet Show, and we've got Lee Richards, Akma Hadja, Ivan, Compass Smith, Ian Ian Pritch, can't get tongue twisted. There's so many messages coming in. Richard Hawkins, Morpheus, and we have one more, number 7, and Rory C. Welcome to the Members Club. Get in there, guys. Make sure you do thank the legend that is Modern Samurai for them contributions and bringing you into the action. It's finals week, guys. So if you are a member, I am doing another 2 watch-alongs. I've just realised that I have got the Europa League final on Wednesday, and I am doing, after the United FA Cup final on Saturday, I will be doing the playoff final as well on TIFO. So 2 more for you this month, guys. So if you are a member, jump across to the members' videos that are out there. There will be more as each game comes around, but just so you guys know when you can log in, make sure you get onto them. In the description is all the details you need. Let's get on to the show. Jay, managerial situation at Manchester United. We're going to talk about the ins, outs, what happened, where it's gone wrong, and all sorts that Ten Hag has been talking about. But we've talked about Tuchel a lot. Tuchel has, according to Sky Germany, had contact with Manchester United already. He only wants to go to the Premier League or have a year out, is what they're saying. It's Chelsea or it's Manchester United. He holds Manchester United in high esteem. He holds them there. You can just hear it in the way he's talking when he was manager of Bayern Munich about Manchester United. He knows the history and he knows Manchester United and what it's all about. He's up for the project and coaching a team rather than having to manage, according to Ben Jacobs as well. So, Tuchel fit-wise, we've talked over this. Is he the right man for Manchester United in stature and situation right now? I'm going to throw another name into the hat right now for you, Jay. Kieran McKenna has been touted, and Chelsea are apparently looking at Kieran McKenna. Now, Tuchel, McKenna, and I'm sorry, I'm going to throw Pochettino into the mix here and what's happened with him at Chelsea and why McKenna might go there, Jay. The floor is yours, my friend. Make what you want of what is going to be one hell of a managerial merry-go-round this summer.
Okay, so McKenna, I think this job is coming too early for him. I'd like to see McKenna manage the Premiership level before we even.
How many years in the Prem, Jay, would you need for McKenna to actually be like sort of being touted for a big job?
I think minimum 2 years.
Yeah, I think so.
Look, McKenna, no doubt, he's an amazing coach, right? And he's proven his worth, but he needs to manage a Premiership club first, of even mid-table stature. See what he's can he cope with the pressure? Can he cope with the media? And can he cope with dealing with bigger ego players? And then so let him do that first, and then maybe in 2-3 years' time, after we have done possibly Thomas Tuchel, then look at McKenna. But right now, I wouldn't go near McKenna personally. I know some of the fans might want him straight away, but I think too much pressure too early, and I think it'll be throwing McKenna to the wolves.
In terms of what's happening with Pochettino, can you understand the situation there?
Well, look,
I mean, they've put. Do you know what, Jay? We were laughing at Chelsea not too long ago. We were laughing at Chelsea being way down. Like, well, why is no one talking about Pochettino going if Ten Hag's going to be going? And then what? One loss in 14 games, and absolutely smashed above Newcastle and Manchester United into the Europa League places. Like, into 6th place, only 3 points away from Spurs in the end, and closing in on that fifth spot. So he's turned it around there. I'd be absolutely amazed if Pochettino left, but there are sort of issues going on behind the scenes there by all accounts, Jay.
Yeah, look, Poch, he's always been the English media darling, and we all know the English media went on a full court press for him to take over from Solskjaer. But as you pointed out, he has literally turned around Chelsea's season. One loss in, was it 14-15, and now rumblings that he might be out the door. Given the money that Chelsea have spent players on 7, 8, 9-year contracts, I think why would you want to get rid of Poch when he's got him into Europa League? The player, his squad is set. So what's going on with him and Bowley behind the scenes? Clearly, Bowley himself has a penchant for hiring big name managers, letting them achieve some modicum of success, and then falling out with them. He's done it with Tuchel as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's clear there's issues there. I mean, I'm only bringing this situation of Chelsea up because they're in the same boat as Manchester United, like big turnaround, big transitional period, a lot of players in. But if Pochettino leaves, Jay, would you think about Pochettino as a Man United manager, just if his name came up? Just wanted to ask that one quickly.
Personally, no. Look, he failed to win the Champions League with the wealth of players he had at his disposal at PSG. He turned around to Chelsea, yes, but I don't think he's the man to come in and turn United around. United now are the ubiquitous Titanic that's hit the iceberg. It's a sinking ship, and I don't think Pochettino is the man to save the women and children. Definitely not.
No, you wouldn't take him.
Absolutely not. No way.
Not even as like a coaching role, no power anywhere else.
No, I think these players and the younger players, they need a manager with a lot more about him. I think Tuchel will offer us a lot more with his personality. I wouldn't touch Poch.
It's all
That's
coming
me
down.
Personally.
It's all coming down to that experience,
might have different opinion.
Yeah, it's coming down to the experience, Jay, isn't it?
Yeah, and also Tuchel, he's a winner. Apart from the French Pub League, I think also Poch won a Catalan second division title about 10 years ago. What's he won as a manager? So therefore, I wouldn't touch him. You want a player that's going to come in and say, literally, lads, show your medals. Oh, sorry, me, lads, you don't have any. Look at mine. I think Tuchel, he's the guy we need.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, on to Ten Hag, Jay. He's been talking up the season. Well, he's not been talking it up. He did say in his press conference it wasn't good enough. He did come out with comments in that press conference about the points situation. Look, I said it this morning. The table never lies, and INEOS will have to look at the fact that this has been Manchester United's worst season. Literally, if we do not beat Manchester City in the final, Jay, we will have to play the first round of the League Cup, which is usually left for lesser teams of the Premier League and the rest of the EFL. Like, not being in Europe means that we now have to play. And the last time this happened was when we played MK Dons with Louis van Gaal, and we all know what happened there, the introduction of Dele Alli. But this is something that everybody just needs to remember, and I said this earlier on today, like, to be in them opening rounds of the League Cup shows you exactly how far Manchester United have been, or have fallen. We are not going to be in any European draws, and that just seems weird to me. Are you with Ten Hag in terms of how the points have changed this season and where it would have got us, though?
I think Ten Hag is speaking complete another poppycock. We discussed off air, Adam. Last season, he got 75 points on 5 more wins. And also, if I have it here in my notes, that's 15 plus 15 goal difference. So last season, he was 19 points off City. This year is 31. So had he even achieved the same points total as last year, he would have easily got top 4. So the very fact that he couldn't even maintain his points total tells me all I need to know about Ten Hag. He's a bluffer, plain and simple.
I mean, have you seen anything over these last 2 games? We've not spoken, Jay. Do you feel like he's been forced into changing a little bit? Because we have seen some in-game changes. We have seen a bit of a different approach from Ten Hag in the last couple of games. Do you feel like this is the last roll of dice from him?
Okay, well, yesterday, I think we can all agree, and I've seen some of the post-match blogs, that people at the stadium, first half, second string Brighton team players off the park. And it was super sub again, Hojlund, with his, I won't say one ago, but a very well taken goal. And I think has Ten Hag finally realised that Hojlund cannot play with his back to goal. The goals he scored when he was playing with Atalanta, where was the ball's knocked over the top, and he was in a foot race with his centre back, and that's where his goals came from. And Hojlund this season got 16 goals with no service. So if Ten Hag has finally copped that on, he took him 38 games. Well done, Eric. He didn't play Rashford again, which that's encouraging. But that being said, he then persisted with playing Scott McTominay up front beside Bruno. Now, I said at you against Arsenal, we said together, I hadn't seen McTominay in the flesh in 5 years. Scott has not developed in 5 years. He jogs around the play. He won't tackle. I don't know what he does. Okay, I know he's got a couple of goals this season, but his persistence with McTominay as well. He plays him against City. We're going to go running midfield. So I do take your point. He has made some slight changes. The Bruno as a false nine that we've all been looking for. But it's too late. Maybe those changes should be made back in February. I look here, back in February, we went on a run. We had Wolves back in February, Wolves 4-3. Then we beat West Ham, Villa, Luton, Fulham, Forest. We went on a run. Then we got smashed by City 3-1.
We got beat by Fulham as well, mate.
Yeah. So, sorry, you got beat for Fulham 2-0. Then it was 3-1 loss to City. And then it seemed the wheels fell off. And I think only what got the squad was that the 4-3 win against Liverpool in the FA Cup. So the games he's won, the 1-0 and 2-1s, you've been at the games yourself. We've been outplayed. Literally been outplayed. And it's been a stroke of luck that's got us the 2-1 or the 1-0. The last game for me, Adam, that I saw us actually really dominate was against West Ham. That was way back in February. We won 3-0. We're not, you got a brace. That's February, mate. The last time we dominated a team. We've dominated nobody since then.
I mean, honestly, Jay, talk about that game. I was at the West Ham game. It wasn't even dominant in that. The scoreline picks out everything for me. There was a moment where I think Dalot had to chase back and clear the ball away from Jarrod Bowen, who was clean through. If that goes in, the game changes again at that moment. And this is what we're dealing with Manchester United right now. We're not on top of any game. And people can talk about results and results being the most important thing. Yeah, they do. Points make prizes. I understand that. But consistently, when you're playing the way you're playing and the game is on a knife edge continuously, you've got no control of it, which we haven't, eventually it will catch up with you. And that's not enough to make top 4, let alone challenge for the top. So if INEOS are looking at a manager that they want to play a certain style of football, actually be in games and control games, then Ten Hag isn't that man from what they said they want. I've not seen any of that in what he has brought. The players that he has brought in, are they going to look at that and say, look, if he's had a say in that, then yeah, that's not good for him. But that's not the type of manager we want. We want a coach. Have we seen enough on the pitch, playing style wise, for Ten Hag? If we get him the players, can he do something with this team, with this Manchester United side? Personally, I've still not seen a game plan out of him. He talks about the overloading in midfield in the press conference yesterday, and Dalot. It wasn't so much an overload in midfield. It was a long punt up which Rasmus battled for, and it broke to Dalot because he's an inverted fullback / inverted winger / centre forward / whatever other position he wants to give him. But as someone said to me before, Jay, and stats are stats. Like, you cannot say, and this is what they were saying to me, you cannot say that Brighton dominated Manchester United. They had, I think, one more shot on target than United. I said, stats can be built for anyone's agenda. I was at the game and I seen De Zerbi's second string Brighton absolutely pass Manchester United and press them off the park. Now I'm going to come across to you again, Jay, in terms of the manager situation. There is a manager there I've said no to, but I can see why people like De Zerbi from what I saw yesterday, that he's got all of his big players out. He's not moaned. Well, he probably has had a bit of a moan, but he's not moaned like Ten Hag has. And they played exactly the same way. They just haven't got the quality up top to finish. And we know who's missing for them in the likes of Matoma, likes of Ferguson, likes of Solimarsh, all of these types of players that are out injured for them at the moment. That's why they didn't take the lead against United. And it's like Graham said to me yesterday. He said, look, if they had them players back, I think this would have been a completely different outcome in this game today. And I had Brighton fans bantering me walking out, mate. Like, they knew that they battered us. But stats are one thing. Winning games are one thing. Getting them points, that's all important, Jay. I know that. But what you've watched this season, continuously, there is no consistency in anything that United do under Ten Hag for me. I don't know where you stand with it. Have you seen any sort of progression at all in any player in particular under Ten Hag's stewardship?
Progression. Well, as a whole, I've seen regression, and the table typifies that. Progression. That you touched there on Dallo. I think he's definitely progressed. There's no question about it.
He's been our player of the year, mate.
He's been our player of the year, but he's also played our position, is he not? Like, he's been shifted left back, right back. I think
everywhere.
There's many a show where you're pulling your hair out thinking, why is he playing left back this week? He was right back last week. He's been shifted about. Well, obviously, we're all going to touch on Manu, and had Manu not got injured in pre-season, he would have started a lot earlier. But that young kid, and we've touched on it many times, he's been out on his feet. So I think Ten Hag really, with Manu, he landed on his feet. If he didn't have Manu to call upon, I don't think Ten Hag really would have had a functioning midfield. And to put that pressure on a young 80-year-old kid, that's horrendous. So I think Ten Hag has gone from game to game to game, literally playing hopes and prayers in midfield and hoping for the best. And you referenced the survey there that his second string team have a clearly discernible style. They know where their teammates are going to be in the pitch. They know that their passing patterns. And that yesterday you saw Amrabat got shut up when he played against a team that literally could knock the ball around him. And the last two games, we were all espousing the virtues of Amrabat, and should we give him a new contract? Because after just 2 games. So I think we're trying to find weak positives in a season of override negatives. And for me, Adam, there's just too many negatives under this manager. I hate coming on a show and being negative, but this chap, I really think he's always depth at our club. Yeah.
No, we got a question in from on the Honest Tiger on a super chat. Cheers for that, pal. Get them likes up, please, everybody. Almost at that 100 mark. Let's keep them moving. Thank you very much. Jay, who would your cup final lineup be?
Okay, so we're going to go with Anana by hook or by crook. Delo is going to left back. Armon Bissaka right back, and then Martinez has got to come back in. Would I play Johnny Evans over Varane beside Martinez? That's a 50-50. I couldn't split them. Finally, then you get to play Casemiro in the CDM on front of 2 centre backs, along with Manu and Bruno. I said I've got Hojlund up top, I've got Ahmed out on the right, and I've got Garnacho on the left. And yes, Marcus Rashford does not make my starting 11.
No. Do you feel like with that lineup that we had against Brighton, that was a sign at Ten Hag, with the substitutions that he made in bringing Varane on? I think he's going to line up with Varane and Martinez personally, from what you were saying there, Jay, as well on that. I think that's why he made the substitutions he did. He wanted everyone to get the right amount of game time. It was good seeing Varane and Martinez back on the pitch together again. I'm not going to kid around that. That was actually really encouraging. But do you feel like he has definitely had it with Marcus Rashford in the way that he's treating him recently? He's not rushed him back like we all thought he would do. Like the favourites FC and the favourites tag amongst players, Jay, doesn't seem to be there. Like Rashford, has been left. I mean, Ahmad was hot and cold yesterday. There was some mistakes. There was some brilliant moments on the ball. But still, for me, a lot better than what Marcus Rashford has been. Do you feel like Ten Hag has the penny's finally dropped with Marcus?
I think it finally has, and I'm hoping correct. And now, come the weekend, we might see Rashford start, and we'll all be bemoaning why the hell starting Rashford. But Ahmed, we've all wanted him to get massive more game time all season. He's vastly overlooked by Ten Hag, so obviously the penny's finally dropped. I think Ten Hag now, he's got one game left. He's got to play the players that he can trust and not play the egos. So therefore, I think Ahmed will start over Rashford.
Yeah, I actually thought, I wondered, like, is he going to play Rashford today? Yesterday at Brighton, I thought, is he going to play him? Is he going to sort of like test out his FA Cup final team? Is he going to go bring Rashford in? And then he can obviously say then when it comes to the final, look, Rashford was always just coming back. This was the plan. Rashford really didn't do much when he came on yesterday either. I think one good, decent moment, but again, definitely not lighting anything up at the moment, Marcus Rashford. And I actually feel like, that is one positive that we can look at, like a manager actually realising right at the end. But I cannot help but feel, Jay, like it's just taking him this long, and to be right on the edge to start acting like he should have done earlier on in the season. It just seems like it's just been forced upon him. And he's just doing everything he can now to prove that he can change and he can do something different. I can't help but feel that.
Well, look at like Ten Hag is an intelligent man, and you've seen him yourself at press conferences. You reference the fact that he's actually comes across as a genuine, a nice guy, but nice guys don't win football matches. But he has finally copped on. Okay, my job here is on the line. If I have any monicum of possibility of keeping my job, it's not get pasted in epic final. Like, I'm not saying we're going to win. There's 10% of me saying we can actually do this. I think Ten Hag has to go there and not get smashed. If he comes out of there with a 2-1, 3-2 loss, that in itself for Ten Hag would be okay. We didn't get smashed. I didn't disgrace myself as I thought I would. And if he starts Rashford, he knows he's going to have a gaping hole on an entire side of the pitch. And I don't think he's prepared to do that anymore.
No. I'm totally with you on that one. Mate. In terms of, Manchester United going forward into the summer, do we need to hear something literally day after the final? It needs to be sorted quickly for you, Jay?
Yeah, it's a case of sooner rather than better. It's like you got that Band-Aid on the cut. You put it off in one fell swoop, not putting off centimetre by centimetre. If Ten Hag is going to stay in situ, fair enough. They've got to give him a 2-year contract and back him. And then they can start negotiating transfer deals with agents saying, yeah, Ten Hag is the manager, blah, blah, blah. Or go in a different direction. And it's got to happen on Monday morning.
Yeah, Monday morning, no matter what, it should be announced. And we all know where we stand. But I'm totally with you in terms of 3-year contracts, or someone else comes in, definitely. Peter Grattan, welcome to the Members Club, gifted by the Honest Tiger. I'm coming into the chat, taking some of your comments. Thomas Tuchel is on and free, and he's better than what we have now. Correct, Adam. Erik Ten Hag has been forced into changing because what he has been doing never worked. I hate a feeling that we will win the cup. I have a feeling, not hate a feeling. I have a feeling. There is a sort of like movement towards this final, Jay. Like, people are actually slightly optimistic. Is that simply because we have got a couple of games under our belt that we've actually won? We've scored some goals. We've got a lot of players coming back from injury. Where is this confidence coming from? I'd like some of it. Like, I'm happy to see United winning games, but I've not been convinced in them. But where is it coming from, Jay?
I think it's coming from that we finally have that triangle possibly back of Varane, Martinez, and Casemiro. And Manu will have an actual CDM beside him in a cup final. Like, Manu has played, how many games is now this season? Close on 25. Some in the chat will know. How many times has he actually played beside Casemiro as of late? Few and far between. So that in itself would inspire a monicum confidence. but it's still only 10%, Adam. It's still 10%, mate. This is, this is a team that are going after a triple double, and you saw what happened last season, the cup final. It didn't turn up. So at the bare minimum, we need players to turn up. If I'm the manager, you know what I do? I play that 99 documentary on a constant loop in the canteen over and over again all week, and hopefully by subliminal messaging, these lads will learn some bit of winning mentality.
Yeah. Louise says, I'm at this point where I couldn't care less about the cup now. Skip it and let's get to work on this overhaul. Do you know what? You always want to be in an FA Cup final, Jay. I do feel like what Louise says there is quite a few other United fans that are in the boat of like, this is just in the way right now, because we all want to get to the crunch. We all want to get to the actual bit that counts, which is what happens once the final whistle blows. I think everyone just wants clarity on the manager situation. We want to know what's happening with the players. We talked earlier on today about how much we can make from certain players, because being completely out of Europe does hamper Manchester United some part financially. But in other parts, Jay, we're not actually having to deal with financial fair play because we're not in Europe. I'd rather be dealing with financial fair play and being in Europe. That's where United should be. But we are going to have to start thinking outside the box. And I think there's that much going on. I think everyone just wants to get to it now. Like I've never known a fan base so fed up. Like we were speaking to an elderly lady who is a season ticket holder, goes home and away outside the Brighton Stadium yesterday. And we didn't even ask her. She just said, like, what, are you Ten Hag out or are you Ten Hag in? And this is a match goer, and these are the match going fans that apparently are the ones that are backing the manager according to the club. Get him out now. I'm sick of travelling around this country watching this dross. Those were her words pretty much, apart from the dross bit. I think she used another word, as you can imagine, Jay. But this is the match going fan base. Like, people look at it and say, look at them fans there. They're right behind the manager. Ten Hag does it. They understand the situation we're in. That's not what I hear, Jay. That's not what I hear on a match day. Match-going fans are watching what everyone else is watching at home, and they're not happy with it. There is no consistency to anything that goes on that pitch for United. But that's match-going fans that are now talking with their feet as well, Jay, because there's loads of tickets that were available for Brighton and quite a few available for the cup final as well, Jay. So what does that say?
Look, I've nothing but respect for match-going fans. They're the fabric of the club. They spend thousands of pounds per year from their salaries, and we all know cost of living in Ireland, UK is astronomical right now. So to spend a couple of grand a year, probably, I don't know, to go to United home and away for a season, probably talking about bones of 10 grand, Adam. Am I correct? Give or take.
The amount of travelling. I mean, if you can get tickets from the club, it's not that bad, but that's hard work. So you're spending thousands, mate. You're spending the money of what you could buy a car with.
Yeah.
To watch United home and away.
So those fans are the lifeblood of the club. And I think it's just spin and PR on behalf of the club saying the match-going fans are still Ten Hag in. When I was with you last week, 9% of the match-going fans I spoke to were Ten Hag out as well. So I suppose the club are almost going to spin the roof tennis spectacles, because until he is sacked or backed, the positivity has to come out that the match-going fans still back him. But we know it's the contrary. But look, that's the state of the club. It is what it is. And what the thing is, you and I grew up with like the FA Cup final was one of the biggest games of the year. I know now that's been surpassed by the Champions League final, but as a fan of English football, the FA Cup is still the biggest game in England every May, no matter what. And the very fact now that fans are giving back tickets to not go to Wembley, I suppose it's resignation of these players are not going to turn up against Man City. That is most harrowing, because I love to go to Wembley on the weekend. Love to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go through what Graham said here and then tell you from what someone I spoke to at Brighton yesterday as well. Graham says there, I spoke with a few at half-time United supporters, this is, and Kevin Donald, a multi-generational home and away man. He's properly pissed off with the performances. Now, we went to fuel up just about 10 minutes away from the stadium, and I bumped into Danny Webber. I know Danny just through my old media stuff, who obviously everyone knows works for Manchester United on MUTV. And I was just asking him, like, what do you think? Like, he says, I said, I'm going to be honest with you, Danny, like, I just don't know anymore. I don't know this team. And he went, you're just saying exactly what everyone else is saying. He said, everyone at the football club, no one knows what's happening. Like, staff, I don't know if they're going to be staying. They don't know if the jobs are safe. Everyone at the football club at the moment is waiting for the bang, the big crunch, like I said, Jay. There is a lot going to happen in the summer. I think in what he said in his words, you could see it. Like, just talking to people in Manchester United, and I've spoken to other people at the club as well, there is a complete unknown right now. There is apparently meetings going on, higher level meetings going on, where the managerial situation has been discussed and is top priority as well. I think what we're saying here, Jay, is, and what's coming out from people, not so much just in the know people, but in and around Manchester United right now, is like, brace yourself, because the happy summer camp vibe at Manchester United is gone when that final whistle blows in the FA Cup. And I don't agree with this waiting around for Ten Hag until then. I can only think they're waiting around because they don't think it's right for him not to be given a chance to play a final. We're not Spurs. We don't sack managers a week before the final. We give him a chance to win his trophy. I think that's fair. But I think the decision has been made. I think the rest of the football club is holding its breath, Jeff. Jesus Christ, who's Jeff? Holding its breath. Holding its breath, Jay, because nobody knows what's going on. This is like, for the first time, people have always known at the football club. You've always had, like, what people call friends and, like, jobs for mates and stuff like that. It's changed, Jay. And that's the sense and that's the vibe I get. Like, we are expecting something big to happen this summer.
So what you're saying then is you have an entire club hierarchy, admin staff from top to bottom on tenterhooks.
Yeah.
On the eve of an FA Cup final.
What does that tell you, Jay? What was that in terms of, as a fan watching in and seeing how crap and how the fans have been taken for a ride? How does that make you feel, knowing that is happening right now? Is that a positive for you, or are you worried for them? How are you seeing it?
Well, just respond now, like that. I if I was a staff member, a mid-level admin staff member at the club, I'd be worried about the security of my job. And that's sad. Like, you don't want anybody to lose their job. Like, I've no doubt, Adam, you've referenced it many times, there's some excellent people at that club, and they've been there quite some time and they give their life and soul for the club. But INEOS now have come in, and clearly they are going to, quote unquote, trim the fat. But you'd rather the fat was trimmed with the top level executives that are on mega money, as opposed to mid-level admin staff that are the fibre and the happy of the club. So for the whole club, as I said, to be on tenterhooks, FA Cup final week, that is actually very, very, very scary. And we also know that the staff are not being given the opportunity to travel down to Manchester, London, I should say, like they historically would have been FA Cup finals, because it's almost like a family outing going to the FA Cup if you were a staff member of the club, and that's gone now. So clearly, INEOS have come in literally as the new sheriff in town, and it's going to be their way or no way.
Yeah,
that's the reality go forward the club.
Honestly, that's how it is, Jay. That's how it feels. That's how it's coming across from people there. One member of staff actually told me and said, look, I'm just praying that we have an all right end to the season, because the negativity and the unrest, like, whoa. I've heard staff that have just given up defending the players because they can't. Like, there's a job to do, and yes, they have to be red-tinted glasses sometimes. They have to back their team. They have to back their players. They're paid to do that, but it's like, it's an impossible job. That's how it feels right now. And they all know. They're not allowed to say. They all know who the keepers are, but deep down, they also all know where the problem is and who the problems are at this football club. So I'm hoping that this is what is happening right now. All the noises and everything, it's got the feel of a real end of season vibe and big change and shake up come the summer, Jay. That's what it's got the feel of, and I'm hoping that they are cutthroat. I don't want to see, like you said, Jay, I don't want to see anyone lose a job. I hate to see people losing their jobs. I've lived through it. It's a horrible feeling. You got your family to deal with and everything like that. Is the all worrying and concern of everyday life and paying bills and stuff. But Manchester United have to be this way now because the Glazers have employed people that have run the club into the ground. And if INEOS want to take United forward, they have to take all sentimentality out of the equation and go, you caused this, we're just cleaning up the mess. And that is the only way that United will move forward, by being absolutely brutal. And it's horrible as well as positive at the same time, if that makes sense, Jay.
It is, but for me, the bad taste then is the Glazers sit there in Florida.
I know, mate.
After damage that they've done, after ripping the heart and soul out of this club since 2005, not investing any of their own private funds and getting an injection of £1.3 billion divvied out among the family members, plus the dividends they've taken out every quarter since then. That's the harrowing thing. And I know we're early in the evening now, so I'm not going to use any profanities, but they are scum of the earth. They really are. That, your mid-level admin staff member or whatever is now worried about their own job security. Meanwhile, the vermin out in Florida are sitting there in their mansions. That for me is disgusting, Adam.
Yeah, that's the horrible part about it. Guys in the chat, I want to ask you, and I want to ask you as well, Jay. Going into the manager situation, obviously we know we're going to get a decision come Monday/Tuesday, I feel. I think that's where we're at with it. But another name that's been thrown into the hat is Paulo Fonseca, the current Lille Ligue 1 manager. Obviously, Shakhtar Donetsk was one of his clubs. He's been around quite a lot, actually. Some big name clubs like Roma, Braga as well, Portugal, Italy, France. I don't see why United will be looking at him. I know he's won things at lesser levels, Jay, but again, until INEOS shut this down, I think we're just going to get a continuation of managers. I mean, I'm counting a dozen managers now that we've been linked with. This is going to go on and on and on. It's not going to make anyone more comfortable. They just need to cut this off right now. But if anyone in the chat actually merits Fonseca, or think there's something in that, get in the chat, let us know, and also get some questions into me and Jay as well. But Fonseca, Jay, do you even know much about him and what he's done and where he's been?
Well, first of all, I'd say you couldn't rate him as a top-level elite manager in European football. He's what I would call a journeyman manager. But the very fact that the media have linked, we've gone from Potter to Southgate to Serbi, Tuchel. It's been like, 7-8 managers linked to Ten Hag's job. So you're Ten Hag, and there has been 9 managers linked to your job over the last couple of months. That would not exactly inspire you with confidence. If you're Ten Hag,
say that again.
Think about it. Have you not been discussing with your own agents, right, lads? We know the writing's on the wall. Get a strategy, because all this noise coming up about who's going to get my job. So that logic would dictate someone's getting my job. Like if I heard in the grapevine that there was 5 other guys in line to take my job from the owner of my hotel, well, I'd be marching into the office knowing what the hell's going on here, lads. So Ten Hag, maybe he already has an exit strategy. We don't know that.
Well, apparently he's got jobs lined up if he does want to leave Manchester United, or he does get the boot. There are several takers, according to reports. Question from Fred says, question, Adam and Jay, would you both like to INEOS to keep the fans more informed to eliminate the speculation in the future? On that one, Jay, do you feel like they can cut out them leaks, cut out them sources coming out of the football club, and just be open? Is that a way a modern club can be? I mean, in terms of keeping the fans informed, I don't want to know everything. I just want to know I just want to know sooner, is probably what I would say, Jay, in certain situations that involve the fans and the club moving forward.
Look, Adam, and respond to that question, INEOS are going to tell the fans only what they want the fans to hear and know, and 90% of it will be kept in-house, and so it should be. All I want next season, Adam, is a season drama-free. I don't want to go on social media every morning, and there's a new story, a new scandal, a new player is talking rubbish in the Manchester Evening News. Just keep it in the house. Keep it in the house, and all I want to focus on is what happens on the pitch. I don't want to deal with the drama next season. I've no interest in it.
Another question in here from the Honest Tiger. Jay, if you only got 2 players this season, who would you like?
Good question. Who would I like? So I want a striker. I want a striker, and can I have any striker I want, or am I hamstrung by a minuscule budget?
Jay, we are only real on this channel. You know that. So if you can make something happen and play FIFA and sell a player and make some money and then go and buy the player you want, by all means go for it, Jay. We're at that stage of the show where we're making things happen now.
So we're now in the realms of fantasy football, are we? So if we're doing fantasy football, give me Ollie Watkins.
You like Watkins? Football. You know what? I asked this question to a few people. It was basically Tony or Watkins. What fits best for United right now? Most people went with Tony from what I was talking about because they feel like Tony's going to... I don't know, because Watkins has had a great season, but what people are saying is, has he been as consistent? I mean, they're both very similar in terms of where they've come from, and then had a great season. I like both players. I do like both players. I think I had the conversation with Graham, and we were talking which striker would Southgate take to the Euros. I think we both thought that Ivan Toney did a better job in the game he played for England. But Watkins, why him? Why that type of profile? Do you think that is do you think that's a good side act to Rasmus Hojlund? Because I think if he came in, you'd have to be playing the front two. Otherwise, Rasmus is being pushed out the side, mate.
Yeah, but would it not help Rasmus if he played less games and was more impactful from the bench? Like a stat that I came across today, right? Since December 26th, Boxing Day, Hojlund has got 9 goals and 19 shots. That's 47% completion rate. So should we not let Hojlund spend a little bit of time on the bench, instead bringing him on with 20 minutes to go, and have a senior striker play ahead of him? I would not be averse to that. So then you would have to play 2 strikers. Remember, he's still young. He's still in development. That's why I would like a Watkins type player to come in ahead of Hojlund. Remember, Hojlund's what? He's 21, Adam.
Yeah.
He's 21. He's got 10 years left to him at a top level. 10 years.
I've got
10 years. At 20 goals a season, that's 200 goals at top level still to go in him. He's still a developmental striker.
I've got a great one here for you, actually, mate. In terms in terms of Hojlund, just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to bring it up now. Okay. So list of strikers here in their first seasons at clubs. Gabriel Jesus, age 26, 11 goals for Arsenal. Alexander Isak for Newcastle, age 23, 11 goals for Newcastle. Darwin Núñez, age 23, 14 goals for Liverpool. Rasmus Hojlund, age 21, 16 goals for Manchester United. And people do think that this guy is a problem and not good enough. I found it baffling. I really did. But just to add on to what you said there, Jay, then that's the one that I looked at. I thought, you know what? At 21, definitely one that we should be looking to build around. And I agree with you, Jay, in terms of the bench. That, like, last 2 games, come off the bench, had an instant impact, involved in both goals yesterday as well. So I can see where that will help him going forward as well. A few comments just coming in. Lee Dixon says, Brad and Wilcox and Ashworth are serious people. They won't mess around at United. Going to be a massive changes in that team. People like Martial nicking a wage is gone at United. Rajat It is not their fault Newcastle don't want him to leave early. INEOS are smart businessmen and Langen don't know about football. People having a go at each other here about Ashworth, it would seem. Tony is an exciting player to watch, said Gray. This is a question here from Gehan for you. Jay, which players would you keep? Then the rest can go. Jeffrey says, Adam, Jay, after Van Gaal, do you think INEOS should announce this week Eric Ten Hag going after the final? And that's the plan. Getting Tony is going to be a real gamble, says Modern Samurai. 2 questions in there. I just want to pop out to you there, Jay, which is, which players would you keep, Jay, straight away? And if you were INEOS, it's another one really on that line of taking out all of the rumour mill stuff. Would you announce it and say that Ten Hag is gone, or just wait for the final?
No, you got to do it Monday morning. Let the man have his final.
You think we will with it being Bank Holiday Monday as well? I forgot about it being Bank Holiday Monday.
Doesn't matter. Right? Bank holiday. I couldn't care less. Do it Monday morning, like you referenced. We're not Spurs. We're not going to sack a manager for a final. I mean, how that worked out for Spurs. Like I'd hate, Ten Hag's been here now, his second season. There's no point in being disrespectful to the man. He's done the best of his ability. Not good enough, fair enough. Move on, have a cup final, and we'll shake hands. On you go, and leave. Let the man leave with dignity. And anyway, you sack a manager a week for cup final. Your players are already at a low ebb. As we referenced, the staff and the entire club are already a very low ebb. So you want to drag them down even lower, and I have a cup final week. So no, you don't sack them the week. That's ludicrous. To who do I keep? It's a very short list. Again, are we playing fancy football here again? Or are we living in the real world?
Forget about just like off your opinion, Jay, and what you've watched, the players that you think Manchester United can build around, and like that's going into this summer. So be realistic. Like, we can't get rid of a full squad. There may be players that go later on down the line within the next year or two, Jay. But for keeping this summer, which ones would you keep?
Okay, well, we'll start with the obvious players. The obvious ones is Dallo, Garnacho, Menu, Hojlund, Bruno. They're the obvious ones. And after that, then, Adam, I'm struggling. Oh, Martinez, Martinez. After that, then we are struggling. We know Wan-Bissaka's gone. We know Lindelof has to go probably 10 mil. Maguire, hopefully has like Super Euros. You might get 30. After that, then who's sellable? You did a show earlier on about Sancho and Greenwood. There's no guarantees we're going to be able to sell them, and we're left with the nucleus of this season's team because we've got no choice. That's unfortunately the way it is. And I think with Sancho, Ten Hag going, I think Sancho possibly will be brought back because we won't get his market value, and Dortmund can't afford his wages.
That is a big one.
That's a big one. So I think, Adam, we are going to be left with the nucleus of this season's team with maybe 3 to 4 signings. So it's all very easy to say, who would you keep? We've got to keep a lot of them. And that's just the harsh reality. Like, I made no secret of my desire to sell Rashford. But I don't think the club will do it. He's going to be here next season. Whoever manager comes in is going to have to get the best out of him. So it's very easy to say keep or sell. But we're going to be left nucleus of this year's squad. So if Ten Hag is sacked, and if, again, it's if buts and maybes, Tuchel comes in, he's got a nucleus of a very poor squad to work with. He can't work miracles in one season.
No. Liam said there, why are we waiting until the Monday to sack Ten Hag? The game's on a Saturday. Van Gaal was sacked the night of the game. I don't think we're going to get them sort of scenarios, but I'm just going to go through some more of your comments. Liam says, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, Onana, Evans, McTominay, Amrabat, Martial, Rashford and Antony all need to go. Sancho will go for reduced wages, says Jay. Tom says, Bruno is the only world-class player on the squad, but as he's approaching 30 in September, I would cash it in and invest the proceeds in the rebuild. This is the thing. I think Jonathan's son, made a great comment about Bruno Fernandes, Jay, the other week. Last week against Newcastle after the game, and he said, look, going off what this club has done before, even if we sold Bruno Fernandes for 100 million, can I trust Manchester United to spend that 100 million? Or am I going to get another Antony, another Maguire, another Sancho? I think this is where INEOS have to convince the fan base as well, Jay, in the approach to the transfers this summer, because there's a lot of fans that are still not convinced by INEOS and what they're doing here at the football club.
No, listen, I'm not convinced by INEOS either. Like, the jury's out in INEOS, and reference there, Bruno, he's got 104. He created this season 114 chances, 10 more than any other player. So back-to-back Premiership, he's created more chances than any other player, and that includes the much hyped De Bruyne. So is Bruno world class? I wouldn't call him world class. He's definitely our best player, but we're mid-table. So it's remiss to call Bruno world class. But to sell him now at 29, going at 30, the 100 mil, I don't think you'll get it. I would have no confidence in the club to purchase 3 players, 30 mil a pop, give or take, and spend that 100 mil wisely, because history would dictate that we are absolutely horrendous in the transfer market, and we're putting an awful lot of trust in the negotiating skills of INEOS. A lot of trust. And you said it, I said it, Graham said it, it's not going to happen in one off season.
No, 100% it's not. We need to be patient with it, and we need to be patient with INEOS' approach to it, because like I said earlier on today, you're not going to be able to get these players in easily. No European football, INEOS not willing to pay the wages of yesteryear and what United used to do when they were trying to attract players to the football club. That's not going to happen now under INEOS, and we do need to realise that as a fan base. Like, as good as everything is, we do have to be realistic with what INEOS can do in one summer, which they're going to be hampered all the way with. They really will. Guys, please give the video a like. We're almost at the 200 mark. We're just finishing up shortly, but if you could just give the video a like, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well, everybody. Episode 8 of the podcast is out tonight. The link is in the description, guys, below. United couple. Everything that happened in the road trip going from Oxford to Reading to Brighton this weekend, and all of the other stuff going on. Me and Kaz are in there in the podcast. Episode 5 is up tonight at 8 o'clock, everybody. Make sure you go and give it a watch. To finish up, Jay, we'll be back on talking before the cup final, but I want you to finish on this one. Like, if Ten Hag wins the FA Cup final, we're back in the Europa League, with what's out there available, do INEOS Twitch and keep Ten Hag.
I'm going to go on the record now and say I most certainly hope they do not keep Ten Hag.
Do you think they would? I mean, looking at INEOS and how they act and how they are, do you think they would?
I think there's been far too much speculation in the press over the last couple of months, and we've been linked to far too many managers for INEOS to have not been sniffing around the managerial market. So therefore, I don't think they will.
No. Guys, absolutely fantastic show. Cheers, everybody, for all of your contributions, new members, super chats, and all of your messages in the live comment section. We got through quite a bit. Get your comments in what me and Jay were discussing tonight as well, guys, in the comment section when the video was finished up from the live. We just passed the 200 like mark. Thank you so much. Download our SofaScore app, bottom right hand corner there, guys, or drop in the description. The links are all there to everything else, including the podcast, like I said, United Couple. Optimally Me, our health partners with the channel as well. Loads of great offers there using my discount code, so go and check them out as well. And again, thank you everyone. That is the Monday done. Another day closer to the end of the season and that crunch game on Saturday against City. What is going to happen, we don't know. There's a lot more to come from United, I feel, between now and then as well. I have some extra special content that I will be putting up as well this week, guys, from stuff that I've been doing behind the scenes as well. We've got a watch along on Wednesday, we've got a watch along on Sunday as well on TIFO for all you members, so stay tuned to all the posts and extra special videos for you guys as well. Jay, cheers for coming on, mate. Just give the people a shout out to where they can catch you on your socials and what you're up to.
You can get me on JD Mourinho on X and Real J Daily on TikTok, but I've been very lazy lately putting stuff up because I just haven't been bothered. So get me more so on X.
There you go, guys. Go follow Jay for your morning coffee snippets, and he'll be filling you in. Not literally. He's kind. He's a kind guy. He's a big guy, but he's a kind guy. And we move on. I'll stop talking there before I get anyone else in trouble. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Podcast 8 o'clock tonight, everybody. 30 minutes away. Link in the description. Get on it, subscribe, get your comments in, watch the first 4 episodes as well. We've got many going now, and the latest is out at 8. Thanks for watching, everyone. Give the video a like on your way out, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you all